Welcome to your national holiday that is known as Hangover Monday. But we got to talk some sports and the big weekend game with our guy, Pep. What's going on, Pep?
Yo, what is up, Patrick? What is up, everybody out there? It was a good Super Bowl. You're a Seahawks fan. I'm a 49ers fan, so neither of us had our team in the big game. But
Oh,
all I wanted to see was a great competitive game that came down to the wire, and that's exactly what we got as Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs pull out another one, 38-35. Listen, I've said this before, Patrick, and I still feel the same way on this Monday morning. Kansas City Chiefs, man, like a cat always landing on their feet. They always find a way to win. They're the luckiest team I've ever seen, and yesterday proved me right again as they are very, very good, but they're also very, very lucky, and they've won their second Super Bowl in the last 4 years.
right. And it's funny. Andy Reid used to get a lot of crap for clock management with Donovan McNabb in Philadelphia. And then it was crazy how clock management really was done to a T at the end, like even when Philadelphia was going to let him score.
Yeah.
And you could tell right away, he was like, no, 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 no. Boom, down it on the one, bled the clock. I mean, I did look to my son and go, can you imagine if Butker misses this kick? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
nevertheless, it did work out. Wow.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you bring that up because I forget who was it, Pacheco, whoever slid, they could have just ran in for a touchdown, but he slid, and I was pointing out like he slid and he stayed in bounds, so the clock didn't stop. He didn't go out of bounds. Like that's just good coaching. That's being aware of the situation, confident in your offense that you are going to score. You don't have to do it right now. Let's waste as much time as possible that we are going to score. It was a heads-up play by Andy Reid, and he's going to go down. He's not done yet, but he's going to go down as one of the greatest NFL coaches of all time.
And I mean, they are lucky. I know you do have to have things bounce your way, but Patrick Mahomes is talented, even re aggravating the ankle. And then he was able to still run on it anyways, because it's the Super Bowl. You can kind of see Jalen Hurts was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, screw it. I need to pull this thing down and go for it. And they had some big gains, both of them.
Yeah, especially Patrick Mahomes in the second half with the bad ankle. I'm like, what is that guy doing? And he bust off these huge runs. I think the Philadelphia Eagles assumed this guy's not going to run. And if he does, we're going to be able to get to him. He can't move very quickly. He did. And he picked up some big plays on the ground like that. And I'll say this too, Patrick. With Patrick Mahomes making big plays on the ground, through the air in the second half, the Eagles were the best team in the first half. And Andy Reid, something about those halftime adjustments. He came out in the second half, and they just looked like a different team. Even with Patrick Mahomes not at 100%, they just something about those halftime adjustments that they found a way to figure out the Eagles and really shut down Jalen Hurts in that offense.
Yeah, and Patrick Mahomes had another thing working against him. I mean, he was the MVP this year, and the MVP never wins the Super Bowl, it feels like. He overcame that as well.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's another great point. And for the Kansas City Chiefs, we talked about the New England Patriots for so long as the NFL dynasty. The Chiefs, I don't know if I'm ready to say dynasty, but they're certainly, the team to beat in the NFL. If you get to 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years, you win 2 of those Super Bowls, you probably have most of those players coming back. What's not to think that Kansas City, as we look ahead to next year, isn't the favorite to do it all over again?
I mean, when he lost Tyreek Hill, I mean, you definitely thought, remember, even he said the cheat is not going to be out there. Like Patrick Mahomes is going to have trouble. And I mean, I think Travis Kelce said it the best. How are you able to get open to score that touchdown? He just goes, I got Andy Reid and Patty Mahomes, baby. And I was like, man, is he right about that? Like, these guys are special. He's special as well, but he's right. That was a great statement. He made me laugh.
No, dude, Travis Kelce's the best, isn't he? He always says the right thing at the right time. He's just one of those party guys that just, loves football and always is unfiltered. So, he's a lot of fun. And, we talk about Patrick Mahomes so much. Travis Kelce might be the greatest NFL tight end when he's all said and done. We've had some really good ones. I know you Charger fans out there love Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez. Well, there's been Rob Gronkowski. There's been some really great tight ends in recent history. But Travis Kelce, when he's all said and done, if Patrick Mahomes continues to get the football, and I don't see why he's going to stop, he might be one of the greatest players of all time as well.
To me, Kelsey and Gronk are the greatest because you knew it was going to him, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that is special.
Yeah, and that's a 1-2 punch. And you brought up another great point. Losing Tyreek Hill, they had a bunch of receivers that were just kind of a no-name group. Juju Smith-Schuster, I know he's a former USC guy, so maybe local football fans in Southern California recognize that name. But man, Patrick, they did not have a superstar at the receiver position. Travis Kelce, I know he plays like a receiver, but he's a tight end. But they still got it done. Didn't matter.
I have to give some props to Juju too. Juju Smith-Schuster came up so clutch with so many solid catches in that second half. He did, because you was thinking too. I was like, "Where's that receiver?" Schuster was getting open. Those sideline catches, those were huge. And I actually could tell it's the first time I've looked at Schuster and thought he actually has some size to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't really realize that, but he was able to come through. I mean, we remember it. The cheetah's not going to be out there, like Tyreek Hill said. Like, you know what? I'm a big reason Patrick Mahomes is good. Not totally true. They're like, let's keep Kelce. And then everything worked out.
You know what? I'm curious. I do not follow Tyreek Hill on any social media or whatnot, but I wonder if he had a case of sour grapes, like, oh man, I'm going to leave the Chiefs. They're going to stink without me. They need me so much. I'm going to go to Miami, and I got Tua Tagovailoa, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, they still get it done without him.
Patty Mahomes does it on one leg.
Oh my gosh, man. Okay, so let's real quick look ahead to next NFL season, Patrick, because I know we kind of all reset. We're all back to 0 wins, 0 losses.
Yeah.
Sean Payton with the Denver Broncos, you got to think Russell Wilson and him will try to figure something out there. Like, I feel like going into next year, the Chiefs will be the team to beat, but it could be, there could be a lot of parity again. I think it could be as wide open as ever because a lot of teams, Aaron Rodgers is going to be on the move. Like, there's just a lot of question marks going into next season, even with Derek Carr. We're going to talk about Derek Carr in a second. There's a lot of teams that could be loading up for next year's playoff run.
I think if Russell Wilson listens to Sean Payton, that could be a really dangerous combination because I've already heard that Sean Payton was like, hey, no special coaches, no office for you, dude. I'm your guru. And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
This may be the best thing that ever happened to Russell. Like, hey, enough of this superstar crap, dude. You're alienating yourself from the team. What are you doing? That's what I heard. Sean Payton came in and was like, hey, this can't go on like this, dude. And I was like, you know what? Look out. But I agree with you. It's funny that the Super Bowl is going to be in Vegas next year. Am I correct?
Yes.
And look at the Vegas situation with Derek Carr. It makes you wonder what's going to happen. Wouldn't it be funny if whatever team he does end up going to, if he came back for the Super Bowl and won it in Vegas?
Oh, my gosh. You know what, Patrick? I didn't even think about that. How poetic would it be if Derek Carr goes, I don't know, pick any team, yeah. Carolina Panthers, let's say, and he comes back to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas just to kind of rub it in the Raiders' face. That would be amazing. And speaking of, perfect segue, Wednesday, February 15th, that's the day that the Raiders have to either trade Derek Carr or release Derek Carr because they're going to owe him $40 million if they don't. And we heard on Super Bowl Sunday, Patrick, that Derek Carr, whatever trade comes up that the Raiders come up with, he's going to say no. He has a no-trade clause, so he's going to force them to cut him, and then he can go wherever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I could see Aaron Rodgers ending up at the Raiders, too, with Devontae.
That could happen. And here's the other thing with Aaron Rodgers is that apparently the Jets really want him, and that they're willing to go out there and make a trade for Aaron Rodgers. So, I think we had the same conversation last year about a big offseason for NFL quarterbacks. Where are they going to go? Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson and, all these Tom Brady, is he coming back? Is he not coming back? So I feel like this NFL offseason is going to be very, very similar. And remember, we thought Aaron Rodgers might go to the Denver Broncos. He didn't. Shortly after, Russell Wilson goes to Denver. That kind of set off the domino effect. So we'll see. I think Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr are kind of the leading domino this NFL offseason, at least for quarterbacks.
I think Aaron Rodgers needs to go to a solid organization. He should go to Tennessee. I don't know if I don't think it'll work with him and his attitude and all that stuff.
Yeah, you mean that before or after he goes into his four-day dark retreat in pitch black to clear his mind?
Yes. After a psychedelic drink.
Jeez. Right? Yeah, you know what? I mean, his antics would probably work in, let's say, like a place like New York if he was the quarterback of the Jets. But if you're going to go down and play for the Tennessee Titans, I don't know if that's going to go over as well down there.
He knows there's no way he can go to the Jets. He's going to be like Tyreek Hill last year, right? What? Jets? Like, no.
No.
You know what I mean? No.
And don't count out the
But
Jets. Remember, the Jets were actually pretty good, and they had their quarterback issues this year. So maybe they feel like the Denver Broncos, that they're only a quarterback away from being, a playoff contender, maybe a division championship contender. Maybe they feel like they're that close.
man, we'll have to see what happens. But I think you're right. It's going to set the dominoes coming up here before Wednesday. Pep, have a great Valentine's Day, and make sure you tell people how to get your stuff.
Hey, if you love local sports, check us out. Inland Sports, Twitter, Instagram. We got the YouTube channel as well. So happy Valentine's Day. If you love local sports, check us out. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep. There it is, my man.